They're all writing about me and about what is important in my life. I want you to think about something that is important to you. And if I said, hey, everybody, write down your favorite color, write down your favorite food, write down your favorite activity. Thumbs up if that would be something that would be fairly easy to do. Excellent. Now, what if I said, okay, today for writing, we're all going to write, what would it be like to meet an alien? Give me a thumbs up if you'd be excited about writing that. Like some of you might, because maybe that sounds interesting, but most of us, I've never met an alien. Like I could care less about meeting an alien. I want to write about stuff that's important to me. So right now, just listening ears, go ahead and put your hands down. And I'm going to show you some of the things that are in my creators notebooks. These are all my creators notebooks. I even have more than this because I have been writing in a creators notebook for about 8 years. And a creators notebook is a place for you to write down things that are most important to yourself. So point to that person. Who do you know the most about in your whole life? Who do you have the most stories to tell about? Yeah, it's you. And that's what I have the most to tell about as well. You'll notice, thumbs up if you notice something about some of my notebooks. Like this one, and this one, and this one, and this one, and this one. And this one, if you look closely, is Pirates of the Caribbean. Okay, what did you notice about that, Lydia?
That they're all Walt Disney.
Yeah, nod your head if you notice that I like Walt Disney World. I love Walt Disney World. My daughter, who is 22 years old, she works at Walt Disney World in Florida. Her boss is Mickey Mouse. Give me a smile if you think she's lucky. I think she's lucky, but I miss her a lot, so that's kind of sad. But those are, can I put this here? Okay. So things that are important to me are what goes in my notebooks. Now something else you may have noticed, I have tabbed sections. So this isn't a notebook that I just start at the beginning and just write. This is something that I have sections, and in that section is what I write about that thing. So this one says girls. I have 3 daughters. So guess what is in my girls section? Guess out loud if you think you can guess. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's all about my daughters. Look, there's the one that works in Florida, and there's some other stuff about my daughters. There's a newspaper article about my daughter's principal, a note from one of my daughters. So that whole section is about my daughters. Now this next section is called Now. Now. I like to really write about what is happening right now. Now this notebook is from 3 years ago. So this was now 3 years ago, but it's not now anymore. But that's what that section's about. Another section I have in my notebook is called lists. Do any of you ever write lists? Like maybe you write a list of ingredients you need to make chocolate chip cookies, or maybe you wrote down a list of school supplies you needed when you started 5th grade. I like to write lists. Sometimes I write lists about, this is a list of things that writers do. Good writers notice the world. Can you all do notice with me with your hands? Notice. And can you say that? Notice. Good writers notice the world and they write down what they notice. That's what makes a good writer different than just anybody, is they write down. But I wrote a list of things that make a good writer. So I make lots of different lists. So that's something different that you may have noticed in your notebooks. Now, I'm going to tell you a little story, and it first got written in this notebook. Now, I'm going to show you some pages of this notebook. My first section in this notebook is called Gratitude, because I am really grateful for stuff. Okay, so I made this really fun first page. I used color and words, and I didn't just write just a list. I actually made it in like the shape of a sunshine, and it makes it fun and interesting. That's one reason we call this a creator's notebook, because you can create stuff. It doesn't just have to be writing. It can be drawing and interesting things. Okay, well also in this gratitude section, I have pictures of my family, have notes from Thanksgiving, because this was around Thanksgiving time. And when my friends and family came over to my house, I said, will you write something in my notebook? And they did, so that was kind of fun. But one section I wanted to show you in this notebook that is really important is this page right here. And on this page right here, I started writing down a story, a memory that I had from when I was a little girl. And I started writing down this story. And then I moved on. And the next year, or the next 6 months, I was writing in this notebook. And that story just came up again. And I started revisiting that story in this notebook. Well, do you know what happened to that story? You already know, don't you? It is now a published book. Like a real book that you can buy on Amazon. Woo! What? If you think that's exciting, give me a big woohoo! Woo! I think it's really exciting. And in a minute, we're going to pull it up on Amazon so you can see that it's really a book on Amazon. And your teacher's ordered some, and when her books come, I'll come back and I'll read it to you guys.
Aww.
And even though I'm the author, I'll read it to you, and it'll be so exciting. But what I want you to know is that story, it came to me because of me writing down stuff that happened to me, stuff that was important to me. Raise your hand if you would like to hear the shortened version of the story that I wrote, the children's book that I wrote. Okay, I'm going to tell you the story, and my friend Lawson, he said the title, but maybe you didn't hear it. So listen to the story and think, what do you think would be a good title of this story, okay? This is a true thing. When I was about 5 years old, I was so excited waiting for Christmas. I love Christmas. And every day I would say to my dad, please, 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 can I open a present on Christmas Eve? Please, 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 can I open a Christmas present on Christmas Eve? Well, finally my dad said, okay, Carrie, you can open a present on Christmas Eve, but I get to pick the present. And I thought, okay, my dad's great. He loves me. He'll pick a great present. It's Christmas Eve. I'm sitting there, and he hands me my present, and I open it. My lips started to quiver a little bit. I got big tears in my eyes because my present was underwear! I did not want Christmas underwear. I mean, I would have been great with pajamas, even a stuffed animal, but underwear? What? What was this? And I was 5. And do you know what I did? Oh, I took that underwear and I stood up and I said, I don't want stupid underwear. And I chucked that underwear right into the Christmas tree. What? I was so naughty. Can you believe I did that naughty thing? So my dad, he sat there on his chair and he said, come here, come sit on my knee. And he had to teach me, he told me a story about why he gave me underwear. And the story goes on and it teaches a lesson about being grateful, and that when we get a present from anybody, whether it's underwear or a new bike or a stuffed animal or a baseball bat, whatever it is, even if it's underwear, we get to say thank you and we get to be grateful for that thing. And that was the lesson that my dad taught me. And that's the lesson that I tell in my book. So it's kind of a fun story. And it's crazy to me to think about that story because I was about 5 when that happened. And every year, from that year on, every Christmas Eve, guess what we got on Christmas Eve? Underwear. We always got underwear. Every single year. And every single year, my dad told the story about when I was so naughty and threw my underwear in the tree. And I would get so embarrassed. Please don't tell that story, Dad. I'm so embarrassed. But now it's kind of fun because it's a published book, and it is a good story. And it really happened because I couldn't make that up, right? Right. So I'm really excited about my book, and I'm excited to share that with you guys. But most importantly, I want you to know that you have stories. You have things that happen in your life that are really important. And that's what you get to put in your notebook. And that is going to be great. Now, does anybody want to guess the title of my book if you don't know it already? Who doesn't know it already? How about you? Oh, you're right on. Everybody, my book is called Christmas Underwear. Is that a good title?
Yes.
That's a pretty good title. I think so too. So it's exciting, but it all starts from being a writer, and that's what I'm here to assist you with today, is to get your own notebooks going. So give me 3 claps if you're ready to do that. Perfect. In your notebooks, you already have tabs. Those tabs are beautiful, and one is labeled what? Tell me on 3. 1, 2, 3.
School.
One is labeled school. Okay, now the other 3 tabs, you are going to get to choose. So we can brainstorm some ideas. We can look at some of my notebooks. I have girls a lot as one of my tabs because my daughters are really an important part of my life. Maybe your family is a really important part of your life. Maybe you want family to be one of your tabs. So I think we should write that one down because I think family would be a really good tab. Okay, another thing, raise your hand. If I say anything that you like, raise your hand and keep it up. Baseball, swimming, dancing, gymnastics, horses. Keep your hand up if I said something that you like. Horseback riding, reading, writing, drawing, art, painting, coloring, running, jogging, soccer, basketball. Okay, it looks like everybody had their hand up. Do you know what all of those things are called? Those are all called
Hobbies.
hobbies. Good. Maybe you want a section in your notebook called hobbies because you like to do a lot of extracurricular things. So that would be a great tab. Another one that I showed you in my big one that had the sunshine, raise your hand if you remember what section that was. What was it? Is it Marina? Melina.
Gratitude.
Gratitude. So you might want a section that shows you're grateful or gratitude. I've got to make sure I'm spelling it right. There we go. Gratitude. Okay, you might want a section called lists, where you might put things like lists of books I'm reading, lists of friends I have, lists of things I love about my teacher, lists of things I want to do after school, lists of things I want to get for Halloween. You could make lists of things, okay? Who has another idea for a category? What's your idea?
Vacations.
Ooh, vacations or travel. I love that one because guess where I'm going in 2 weeks? I'm going to Disney World because I've got to go see my daughter who I miss so very much. And since you said travel, let me show you. In this notebook I called it outings, and sometimes I put pictures. So pictures are really fun to add to your notebooks. You guys can bring pictures from home. Ask your mom or your dad or somebody to print some pictures up for you to put in your notebook. So I have different pictures of us on last Christmas. We went to Disney World, and I have those pictures along with some writing. And notice, sometimes I stick my pictures in like this so I can stick lots of pictures. I also have a pocket right here. Do you ever collect things like this when you travel? Sometimes you collect little things, so I've made a pocket just by taping 2 pages together, cutting half of it, and taping it together, and then I made a little pocket so you can keep stuff like that in my notebook. So travel, that's a good one, and that helped me to show you that you can put pictures and little things that you collect from places that you go. Okay, how about you? Wishes. Ooh, I hope you guys have big dreams and big wishes. Ooh, that's a great one. I'm going to put dreams too. Is that okay? Yeah. Perfect. All right. What else? Melina. A schedule. Okay, so maybe like calendar or schedule. That's a good one. Back here. Sports. Good. What would sports go under?
Hobbies.
Hobbies. Good. So you could just call it sports, or you could call it hobbies. Very good idea. How about you? You right here, Henry. gamer, you might want a whole section about gaming. That's a great idea. All right, so hands down, and I really just want you to think about what is most important to you. What is most important to you? And right now, I want you to go ahead and write those 4 things. Well, you already have school. Write those 3 other tabs on your tabs. Write those 3 other categories on your tabs. When you finish, I'm going to ask you to do your first writing. Your first little bit of writing in your notebook. This can be writing, this can be drawing, this can be a list. But it's going to go in your school section. What section, everybody?
School.
School section. And I would like you to write a little bit about me coming to visit. Okay, so I'll write my name. My name is Mrs. Meesum Francis. And I wrote a book, and this is what it's called. Christmas Underwear. And I love Creator's Notebooks. And you may remember some other things about me, like that I'm a teacher and that I teach at UVU. But I don't care. You can write whatever you want. But I want you to just write a little bit about me coming to visit your classroom. Another very, 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 very important thing that you write every single day when you write in your notebook is the date. Can you all make a check mark with your hand and say, write the date, write the date. Say it 3 times. Write the date, write the date, write the date. Perfect. This is how I write the date. 9 is the month, 4 is the date, and 2019. So I always write that at the top of my page because I want to know, when was that first time that I wrote about Christmas underwear? What was the date of that? All right. Okay, so you have 2 things to do. Make sure all your tabs have a title, and then turn to the school section and write a little bit about my visit to you. Are you clear? Give me a thumbs up if you're clear. All right, ready, go.